All right, y'all, and we are live. What's up, what's up, what's up, everybody? Y'all, welcome to another episode of Black Girl Interrupted. Be back. This tea been piping hot. So y'all know I had to do a part 2 to this conversation. I've already talked about this topic before, but it was time for me to bring it back since it's been put on the forefront. And a lot of people are really kind of trying to run away from this conversation. But guess what? Your girl is here to bring it back. I'm here to wake it up. I may step on some toes tonight, but you know what? Y'all know that's what I'm here to do. Y'all know I'm here to stir the pot. Y'all know I'm here to run down rabbit holes. Baby, y'all know I'm here to do it all. So y'all already know before I get any show started, y'all already know I got to do my mental health check-in. So I need each and every person that's tuned in, drop in the comments. I need to know how y'all are doing. Today is Wednesday. It's hump day. I haven't seen y'all in about a week and a half. So check in. Let me know how y'all feeling mentally. How are y'all feeling? You know, before I even go into what's been going on with me, y'all already know I gotta play my video. This video, and I'm gonna switch it up, but I really particularly love this one because this one really really keeps me encouraged. It keeps me motivated, keeps me going on the tough days and the hard days. I always play this video. So y'all hold tight. Don't forget, drop in the comments. Let me know how y'all been feeling mentally while I go ahead and roll this video.
I don't care who you are. Life's gonna punch you in the face.
Sometimes life will take you to your knees. Sometimes you have to cry. Sometimes will hurt deep inside. In time of adversity, you don't have an obstacle to deal with. You have a choice to make.
You can suffer, or you can choose to do whatever you need to do to liberate yourself, whatever you need to do to reinvent yourself, whatever you need to do to overcome whatever you are stuck in right now. It does not have to be your residency.
You keep standing. No matter how rough the sea, you keep standing. No matter what, you don't give up. You keep standing. No matter what.
You got to be bold in life, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not bold, if you're not standing up inside yourself, if you're not willing to call into being the highest and the strongest that's within you when you're facing life's challenges, life will trample you. But see, when you discover the truth of this goodness, this power that you have within you, that truth will set you free from ever being a victim in life. That truth will enable you to handle things with a level of equanimity that will surprise you. Getting unstuck means that you are going to start living life on your terms, rather than just gliding through every day on automatic. That you have a special power within, that you know that things are going to get better for you. You know that you can handle this. And because you want some different kind of results in your life, you've got to decide that I'm going to go all out.
We decide which moments define us. Will it be the moment we get knocked down? Or will it be the moment when we get back up? This is when we show the world what we're made of. Listen to me, you can't give up. If it was easy, everybody would do it. But if life's got you down, I need you to get up and prove them wrong.
We're all being tested in life. Some of us later down. Others find a way around the motherfucker. Family's inevitable. It's about keeping the motivation to keep moving forward on the same exact path that you just failed.
People who operate in darkness, they are relentless. They never stop. And we have to make it our full-time job to fight back. You got to put your foot down. You got to get an attitude. You got to get fired up.
You got to get up, look at the man in the mirror and go, this is what I'm doing today, whether they like it or not. I don't give a f***. Everybody's focusing on the stupidity things that they got on the news. Don't watch the news no more. I give you the real news. You know what the news is about today? You and how you're going to conquer the world.
And don't be disturbed because no one else can see it. That's not unusual. You've got to learn how to tune out the critics outside and the critic inside
You need to change on how you look at those people, what they say to you. You gotta start armoring your mind. Start preparing yourself for what's out here in life. Build confidence. Build self-esteem. So if people talk to you, it doesn't matter. That's great power in adversity. If you're a victim of any kind, make sure you use that to become successful. It's about going that extra step when you fucking can. That's what builds self-respect, self-esteem, self-discipline, all those things. Learn to not let life hijack your brain. Don't allow all these things to make you a lesser person. You must own your mind. Don't let life own yours.
Everybody has a defining moment. Whatever your defining moment is, own it. And say to yourself, after today, I will do whatever it takes to become everything I can become.
Raise the bar on yourself. Challenge yourself. Expect things to be great for you because you're going to show up differently. Fight like a warrior and die a legend.
All right, y'all. So I always choose to play that video. I stumbled across it one day. I was having a real bad day. And I was scrolling on YouTube, just like going back, rewatching a lot of my old episodes. And that video popped up. And this is why I always play that video. That video keeps me motivated. It keeps me empowered. It keeps me encouraged, regardless of whatever it is that I'm going through. I play that video to remind myself that regardless of whatever I'm going through, I can still do it despite my circumstances. So I have not seen y'all in like a week and a half. Been going through some things. I was laid off recently from my job. But I start my new job May the 9th. So the company that let me go, you guys did me a big favor, but don't worry because I have something coming for y'all. I will not mention the name, but I do have something coming for y'all. They let me go while I was out on medical leave. So I'm not going to go into further details about it, but just know that I have some things brewing for that particular company. But yes, I start my new job May the 9th. I'm absolutely excited about the job. It's still a work from home, even though I was trying to find a job outside of the house because I'm sick of looking at these four walls. But hey, it is what it is. I won't complain. I'd rather be employed than unemployed. Mentally, y'all, I'm in a really great space. I've decided to proceed with selling my father's home. I was gonna let the state take it, but I said, it would really be like a slap to my father's face. So I would rather sell it to somebody and do something, maybe with the money or whatever. But that's just kind of where I'm at right now. I'm dropping a lot of dead weight. The devil tried to come and attack me today. But other than that, I gotta shake that off. I really have got to stay motivated. I had to really sit down with myself and discover exactly what my purpose is in life. And that's still continuing to love me. That's still continuing to be the voice for the voiceless. That's still being able to get on and do my shows twice a week, to encourage somebody, to help somebody, to push somebody, to empower somebody, to uplift somebody. So, of course, as always, y'all know I love y'all. I appreciate all the support that you guys continue to show me each and every episode. No matter what I'm going through, y'all always show up for me. Whether it's a text, whether it's a message, whether it's a post, whether it's a comment. I really do appreciate all of that. And again, Black Girl Interrupted could not be where it is today without the love and support of y'all. So thank y'all so much for bearing with your girl on this emotional journey, this emotional roller coaster that I've been on these last 2 years. Yeah, these last 2 years. So I appreciate all the love. Azrael! Oh my God! Hey! Oh my God! Everything. Let me say this, Azrael. I'm better. I get better every day. I'm learning to allow and give myself the grace to feel however I'm supposed to feel. So if I'm angry, I allow myself to be angry. If I'm sad, I allow myself to be sad. If I need to cry, I give myself the grace to cry. Um, but I try not to stay down too long. I give myself that day, and then the next day I'm up because I have to keep pushing, because I have people that really depend and rely on me. Um, and if I'm not good to myself, how can I be good to anybody else? So, yes, sir, absolutely. It is nice having a revolving source of inspiration. Like I said, I was laying in the bed one day. I was having a real bad day. And like I said, I was scrolling through YouTube. I was going back, rewatching a lot of my earlier episodes of Black Girl Interrupted to see how far that I've evolved, how far I've come. And I stumbled across that video. And by the end of that video, I was in tears. I think I watched it maybe 3 or 4 times again to make sure I didn't miss the message. So that's why I play that video every time I do my mental health check-ins, because I want people to know that yes, life gets hard. Yes, obstacles come in the way, but please know and understand, storms don't last always. So that's why I play that video. But of course, I'm going to start updating and doing different ones every episode. Again, that's just to keep someone encouraged, to let people know that there are people out here that really truly love you, and really truly want to see you win. And I'm absolutely one of those. I support. Azra says, I started a Facebook group. You're welcome to join. It's intended to provoke thought and provide spurts of inspiration to those who may need it. And of course, provide sources of inspiration to the community. It doesn't, Azra, let me tell you something. Let me explain something to you. Something that I've learned is it doesn't matter the quantity, but it's the quality. Send me the invite and I would absolutely join. Like I say, um, you know, um, I'm here to support, anybody that's going through anything right now. Just know I got your back. I stand with you 10 toes down. So send me the invite. I would absolutely love to join. Whatever I can bring to the group, I would love to do that as well. So yeah, I absolutely, like I say, I prefer quality over quantity. I don't care if it's 1,000 people in the group. I don't care if it's 10 people in the group. As long as I'm getting something out of it. And don't focus on that, because it will continue to grow. I promise you it will. So again, I'm still continuing on doing my mental health check-in. Y'all let me know how y'all have been doing. How have you been feeling? Like I said, I haven't seen you guys um in about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. Um, but that's what I've been going through, y'all. My health is good. My weight is down. I'm down to 163. Doctor wants me under 160. So I say 155 would be my goal, maybe 150, but I just take it one day at a time. I don't put a lot of stress on myself to lose the weight. But I know I'm gonna get there. Um, tomorrow is my last day of treatment for my lymphedema. Of course, they say my legs are looking better. Of course, the color will never come back in my legs. And I'm okay with that. As long as I'm good, as long as I'm able to get up and be productive in the world, that's all that matters. I don't care about the physical. It's what's inside is what matters the most to me. So yeah, that's what's been going on with your girl. But like I see, I'm in better spirits today. Like I said, the devil tried to attack me today, but of course I stepped on the devil. I'm dropping off a lot of dead weight, a lot of stress that I don't need. I'm removing out of my life, because I've got to focus on me. I've got to put the love back into me. But yeah, so that's that's where your girl is at. That's what I've been going through. That's where I stand today. But I want to go ahead and I want to jump into tonight's conversation. Like I said, I discussed this almost a year ago. About 9 months ago, I did a show on this topic. And I got a lot of negative responses from women. And that's fine. Y'all know I don't care. Y'all know I'm here to run down a rabbit hole. Y'all know I'm here to stir the pot. Y'all know I don't care. You women need to be held accountable for the things that you do. No, it doesn't fit the narrative, but that's okay. I'm here to wake some shit up again tonight. So it is what it is. And we're going to jump right on into it. So tonight's episode is dedicated to a really, really, really good friend of mine that I lost almost 2 years ago to domestic violence. Oh God, I just, there he is. A lot of my Facebook friends may know who he is. That is my brother. That was my homie. He was my dog, my best Who Dat Nation fan, everything. So tonight's episode is dedicated to Ryan Outlaw, who lost his life to domestic violence. A lot of conversations like this are not talked about because they feel like men are not victims. Men are strong. Men don't go through things, but really, truly, they do. They are victims as well. And I really don't understand why they are the forgotten victims. So again, tonight's episode is dedicated to my boy, Ryan Outlaw. You are absolutely missed. And we're going to see what our Saints going to do this season. So let's jump right on into it. So tonight's conversation, domestic violence, women are not the only victims, part 2. Yes, we're talking about this shit tonight. So let me go ahead and let me say this. Let me put this out here. So you toxic women, this is for y'all tonight. I may step on some toes. I may hurt some feelings. I may ruffle feathers, but y'all know I really don't care. Because this is a conversation that's much needed. There may be some men that are watching tonight that are victims of domestic violence. When it comes to domestic violence, it's not always physical. It could be verbal. It could be emotional. It could be sexual. It's not always physical. But I'm here to talk about it tonight. So to anybody that's tuned in, if you are easily triggered, let me go ahead and let me put my disclaimer out there. If you are easily triggered, you are more than welcome to leave quietly, But I want to go ahead and I want to jump into this conversation. Of course, y'all know I have videos, everything, but I want to go ahead and I want to jump into this. A lot of people remember this from last year, but I want to go ahead and bring it back up so we can jump right on into the conversation.
Dwayne Haskins' wife was arrested after she punched him in the mouth in Vegas. Here is the messy drama. Hi guys, it's Devin Howard. If you're not following me on Instagram, you can find me there as @DevinHoward. Double check that you've subscribed to The Fumble, tap the bell for notifications, and don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. Dwayne Haskins and Calabria Gondrezic have reportedly been married since March, but their union has been anything but pleasant, at least based on what recently happened between the couple. Forget newlywed bliss, these two woke up and chose violence, literally. Dwayne and his wife got into a crazy argument that resulted in punches being thrown. It all went down at the Cosmopolitan in Las Vegas. Calabria is being accused of knocking out one of Dwayne's teeth when she punched him during a fight. A piece of his tooth was found on the floor of his hotel room at the Cosmo. Insane. Apparently, the couple's disagreement started when Calabria left her husband to go to a Magic Mike show, and she had asked him to wait for her before heading off to Dre's nightclub for the evening. Dwayne decided he didn't want to wait for his wife, so he went ahead and left to go to the club. When she found out, the two started fighting, and she accused him of going to the club without her to flirt with other women. Sources close to the couple say that that wasn't the case at all. Dwayne was just going to the club to have a good time with his friends. When the two got back to their hotel room, the fight obviously escalated, and that's when Calabria decided to throw a punch directly in Dwayne's face and knock out a piece of his tooth. She was later arrested and charged with domestic battery after the incident, but her hands were so swollen from punching her husband that they couldn't even put her in handcuffs. Girl must have hit him hard. Wow. Yikes, that sounds like a pretty severe domestic dispute, and it's obvious that these two are severely lacking in trust and communication skills, that's for sure. Apparently, this isn't the first time Calabria has gotten physical when she and her man fight. I guess she has a tendency to throw hands when things start to get a little tough. Dwayne, I know there's gotta be something redeeming about your wife, but listen, you don't deserve to be punched in the face. Maybe she's not the one. What do you guys think about this crazy story? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and tap the bell. I'm Devin Howard for The Fumble, and I'll see you guys later.
All right. So a lot of people remember RIP. First off, let me say this. RIP to Dwayne Haskins. A lot of people remember when that happened. That's what prompted me to do my episode on domestic violence against men. We always talk about women being domestic violence. Y'all, I can't even talk tonight. Being domestic violence abuse survivors. But what about the men? We never address the men. We never talk about the men. So I wanted to do part 2 of this and wake this conversation back up again. Again, when that happened last year to Dwayne Haskins, that's what prompted me and said, you know what, Ash, you got to do a show about that. You got to talk about that because there are a lot of men that suffer in silence. So I want to wake that shit up again today. So many of you know, and of course, a lot of y'all have been watching the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard defamation trial. A lot of things are coming out in that trial, how verbally abusive she was, how physically abusive she was to him. I've seen some of the most nastiest comments. And I'm going to say this to you women. With this toxic femininity, this toxic narcissistic behavior that y'all have. It's not cute. It's going to get you hurt. It's going to get you locked up. Keep your hands to yourself. Because at the end of the day, what is it worth? What point have you proved by physically hurting or harming somebody? That's the shit I don't like. Because you women, you want to fight on men, but when it comes to a woman hitting on your child, then you ready to fight. No. Stop hitting on people's sons if you don't want nobody hitting on yours. And I'm going to just say it. And this goes both ways. So I don't want anyone to feel like, oh, she's just, oh, men are this, men are... I've talked and I've spoken about men beating on women, and I don't like it no matter which situation it is. Keep your hands to your fucking self, period. Men, keep your hands to yourself. Women, you keep your hands to yourself. But tonight, I'm not addressing women being domestic abuse survivors. I'm talking about men. Because men are always forgotten. And the reason men don't come out and they don't talk about it is because there are not enough safe spaces for men to be open about what's going on in their life. We women don't have safe spaces for men, so men are not going to open up to and let us know. Men are going to be ridiculed. They're going to be like, man, how you this, and this woman is doing this to you? Why are you allowing this woman to do this to you? A lot of men they don't want to leave. Because they don't want it to fail. A lot men stay for pretty much the same reasons women stay in these abusive relationships. We don't want to fail. The person has torn us down so much that we feel like no one else would want us. We feel worthless. That's got to stop. Men have feelings as well as women do. You know, I hear it and I rally, I advocate for men and for women. But this one here, it's not talked about enough. It's always shelters for battered women. It's hotlines for women to call. Why are we not giving this to men? Why are men not getting the same justice as women? I don't understand that. When I first did this episode last year, hey brother. Oh yeah, she batshit crazy. She's a narcissist. She's everything. I think she's got some really seriously deep-rooted issues that may have started from a child up until now. I have no clue. I'm really trying to keep up with the trial, but of course I have other things. But it's very sad. It's disheartening to see men go through these things. And again, I don't want anyone to feel like, oh, I'm discrediting, like women are not survivors, because I'm a domestic abuse survivor. Now what? Hence, I have purple on tonight for domestic violence awareness. We have to stop just limiting it down to, oh, it's only talked about in October. No, we need to talk about it every day because it happens every day. Men make up anywhere from 30 to 40% of domestic violence. Victims of domestic violence. And you're welcome, brother. Like I said, when I initially did this episode last year, it was because of the Dwayne Haskins incident. And again, RIP to Dwayne Haskins. Hey sis, good to see you, babe. But that's what prompted me to do this, because I'm like, it's not talked about. No one talks about it. Men are afraid to talk about it because men don't want to be ridiculed. You get what I'm saying? Because you men are labeled as y'all are supposed to be strong. Y'all are supposed to suck shit up like that. Or if your woman slaps you, you supposed to turn the other cheek. No. I need the men to start standing up to these women the way Johnny Depp is standing up to Amber Heard. Stop allowing these women to run over you. Look at Will Smith and Jada Pinkett. Toxic behavior. And men stay. Again, they stay for the same reasons that women stay. And it's sad, y'all. It's sad. It's so sad. I go back and I look at it, and I look at a lot of things in regards to men being domestic violence survivors. When it comes to abuse, no matter the type, men are always forgotten about. And I want to say this to you, men. I love you. I'm here for you. I'm the voice for you. Even if you feel like you're embarrassed to tell somebody, don't be. Because not one person that walks this earth, man or woman, deserves to be abused. Whether it's physical, whether it's emotional, whether it's verbal, no person deserves that. I don't care what you do. No person in this world deserves to be abused. And that goes both ways. And I'm speaking again to my men. I'm not talking to you women tonight. I'm talking to my fellas tonight. This is who I'm talking to. I'm advocating and I'm rallying for my men that are domestic abuse victims. That's what I'm talking about tonight. Women, I talk to y'all all the time, and this is not to discredit y'all. But if we don't speak up for our black men, who else is? Hello? Who else is going to do it? If I don't utilize my platform for something positive, who else is going to do it? Who else is going to speak out for these men that are verbally abused every day? Men that are being told every day they ain't shit. They ain't going to never be shit. You're sorry. You're fat. You're this. You're that. Why keep telling a man that if you don't want a man to tell you that, women? Stop doing that. I look at some of y'all women when Will Smith sat down on Red Table Talk and that man was abused. Y'all made memes about it. Y'all laughed about it. Oh, ha, ha, ha. Oh, yes, I'm going to be in an entanglement and all of this. That man was crying for help and you laughed at his pain. So I'm going to say this to you ladies. I want you to keep that same energy. When your man is dog walking on your ass, that's the energy I want you to have. Keep that same energy. Because it's very disheartening to me because I'm a mom and I have a son. And I'd be damned if I allow someone's daughter to put their hands on my son because then I'm going to have to come see about you. Because see, I'm raising my son not to put his hands on women. I'm raising my son, you walk away. Whenever you feel the situation is starting to heighten and it's starting to escalate, I want you to walk away. That's what I'm teaching my son. So to you mothers and you fathers, you need to teach your daughters to keep their hands to themselves. Get them the therapy that they need because you can't be the victim and the bully at the same time. You got to pick a struggle. So I'm addressing that tonight. That's what we're talking about. I'm here to advocate and I'm here to be the voice for these men. That's what I'm doing tonight. So we got some comments. Let's get it, GA. Hey, brother, how you doing? Good to see you. Anybody that's tuned in, that's watching tonight, y'all go follow my boy. Let's get it, GA. He does all types of NBA basketball simulations. Y'all give him a sub. He comes in, day out. He shows me buku love. I absolutely appreciate it. Brother, I'm still praying for you. To my brother Dre, you definitely got to set boundaries as a man. And he said he's learning that. And you know, and that's one of the things that I love about you the most, Dre, is your transparency and you able to be vulnerable and you don't care about the judgment. So shout out to my boy Dre. Love your brother. Love, 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 love you. Oh, I see Jamaris. Hey, good to see you again tonight. And I love you too, sugar. I promise I do. Again, I'm here tonight. I'm here to advocate. I'm here to speak to my men and let you know that I'm your number one supporter. I do not condone violence, no matter which direction it comes from, whether it's a woman hitting a man hitting a woman. I don't condone it either way it goes. So I don't want anyone, again, to ever feel like I'm discrediting women, like women are not domestic abuse survivors, because I know you are. But y'all get more rights than men do. Men are always forgotten about. So I'm here to wake it up tonight. I'm here to talk about it. Hey, shout out to the ADHD Hour podcast. Good to see your big brother, Will. If you don't know who that is my big brother, Will. He is, y'all, he is the creator of the Black Male podcast. He is also the creator of the ADHD Hour podcast. I believe the ADHD Hour podcast is on pause for right now. But please go see, subscribe to the Black Male podcast. He is live every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time, 6 p.m. Central time. Great topics. He had a beautiful show last night. Of course, I was running on CP time. I jumped in late, but every conversation is always great. Y'all go give him a sub. And you're welcome, brother. You know, I come, like I say, when it comes to these shows and these topics, I'm very passionate about it. So I pour my heart into these conversations to let y'all know I got y'all. I'm here, you know. Let's get it said. Let's get it. GA says, I don't like the fact that we as Black men, our feelings never matter. And you're right. And that is, I won't necessarily say it's always the women's fault. It's the men's fault too. So we have to hold each other accountable in regards to why Black men are never allowed to display their feelings. You know, again, it starts at home. We as mothers and fathers have always told our boys, if it hurts, you better not cry. You a man, you supposed to suck it up. Don't let that bother you. When really we should be embracing and allowing you to, you know, and giving you the grace to feel the way that you need to feel. You're human. At the end of the day, you're human. And that's all that matters. So, hey, Black Male Podcast. Absolutely, brother. You know, you always show up for me. I show up for you. So of course, you know, reciprocity is very big for me. You know, I've supported you since day one. You supported me since day one. So guess what? I'm gonna always show you some love. I'm gonna always encourage. I'm gonna always push and tell people to come and check you out. He does dope shit. He talks about things that matter in the black community. I absolutely adore it, love it. Y'all check him out. He's live every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, every Tuesday. Again, the Black Mailed Podcast. Go give him a sub. Get his subs up, y'all. Help him get his subs up. My brother, he deserves it. He needs it. Like I say, he does dope shit. So back to tonight's topic. Domestic violence, women are not the only victims, part 2. So I want to move on to, and I want to know why. Why is this not talked about? Why is domestic violence amongst men not discussed? You know what? Let me not just say domestic violence, but abuse, period. It's never talked about. Never talked about. There are men that are victims of sexual abuse. There are men that are victims of verbal abuse, mental abuse, physical abuse, and it's never talked about. It's always swept under the rug. It's always pushed to the side. And I don't understand why. Men are human. Yeah, he may be 6'3", he may be 5'8", he may be 5'3", but that doesn't mean he doesn't hurt as equally as a woman that's 5'3" or 5'11" or 6'3". He's human. He has feelings. But I'm gonna tell you why it's not discussed and why it's not talked about, because it's not the narrative. It doesn't fit the narrative in society. Men, y'all don't go through this. Only women do. When really, you have men that are really battling this behind closed doors. And they're afraid to talk about it because they don't want to be ridiculed. They don't want to be laughed at. We don't create safe spaces for men to talk. And that needs to change. Why? Why are we not creating safe spaces for men to be able to sit down and say, you know what, this is what I'm going through. This is what I've experienced, without being ridiculed, without being put down, without being made fun of. We don't do this to women. Why are the rights not the same? Justice should be fair across the board for men and for women. You know, I was looking, as I was pulling up this episode, I was pulling up some stats. And it says, let me remove the banner out the way. It says domestic violence only affects women. That's the myth. But the fact is 40% or more domestic violence victims are men. And we all know men make up a small percentage of the human population. But 40% or more are domestic violence victims. But we don't talk about that. We don't bring that up. We don't address that. You know, because again, we figure men, y'all are strong. Y'all don't go through what we go through. And that's not true. Men are hurting just like we are. They just don't talk about it. They don't get hotlines for men to call in, but we have for women. You know, men could be victims too. And this is exactly what I said. Let me move this banner out of the way. Men can be victims too. Women are not the only victims of domestic violence and abuse. Men also suffer from domestic abuse, especially verbal and emotional, and may be even more ashamed to seek help. And when I say the verbal abuse, that's when we women, you put a man down. You tell him he ain't shit. You tell him he ain't gonna never be shit. You slap him when he don't say what you want him to say. You start gaslighting him. He's trying to de-escalate the situation by walking away, and what do? You're running behind him. No, you're gonna talk to me. You're gonna do this. Stop it. Because when a person is in a fit of rage, you can't control what happens. You can't. When you are in a fit of rage, you can't control the situation. Because see, now you've gone from 0 to 1,000 now. You black out. You don't know what happens. Then someone ends up in a hospital, dead, in jail. When all you simply had to do was just walk away. Let it go. Is it worth your freedom? Is it worth the relationship? And then you don't take into consideration, you may have children that are watching this. A lot of men and women that go from being the victim to the bully have experienced this in their life. Amber Heard, prime example. I don't care what anybody says. I feel like Amber Heard was abused some kind of way when she was a child. I don't know. But she had to find someone to inflict this on. She had to. Because she's, I'm telling you, she's not all the way wrapped too tight. Who do you know that's mentally sane goes and takes a shit in the middle of somebody's bed and then brags about it? Who does that? What mentally sane person does that? I found the video again because I've been keeping up with the trial where she says, "Oh, I'm not punching you. I was just hitting you." You narcissistic animal, you. You're being abusive. Hello? Come on now. So we got quite a few comments. So Azrael says, I literally left my most recent relationship 2 to 3 months in. It was toxic and was approaching potential for physical violence. I just walked away. She called me a bitch and a pussy. I just said no reason to be with me then. And it goes on, but hold on, y'all. Okay, he says, I feel like it's because, okay. I'm sorry, I'm skipping over comments. So, Black Male Podcast says we are conditioned to look at black men in this country as subhuman. Right. We were beasts of burden that took on all forms of abuse and kept going. And that's what I mean when I say men, y'all hurt like we do. Yes, you may be in stature, you may be physically fit, big, whatever. But under all of that, you still hurt like we do. You still don't deserve to be abused. And we could even take it back as, as far as slavery, when black men were raped in front of their children and their wives. They were beat if they talked back. Same way as women. So I say this to you men. I love y'all. I really, truly do. I love y'all so much. I have to continue to advocate for y'all because no one else is. Whew. Jules says, break those generational curses. Of course. And that's exactly what I just said, sis. It's repeated behavior. It's things that they saw growing up. You get what I'm saying? Because when I was in and again, this is not about me because I don't want to gear it towards me, but the man that I was in a relationship with that was physically abusive to me, his father was abusive to his mother. So he saw this. So it was the new norm. You get what I'm saying? A lot of women, they saw this growing up. Their moms were slapping on their dads, or their moms slapping on the boyfriends or the baby daddies, or whatever the situation is. It's been seen in the household. Then too, it could be another way for control. For a person to control a situation, so they resort to violence to control the situation. Or if you don't do what I tell you to do, I'm gonna slap the shit out of you, or I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. So yeah, control. Again, the victim becomes the bully. You know. So Azrael says, I feel like it's because men are supposed to be Atlas and endure all burdens, which I feel is partly true. I think we just need to choose which burdens to carry. I would love to carry the burdens of a significant other, as I feel that's part of my purpose. However, I feel it's something that needs to be appreciated and deserved. Otherwise, that burden should get dropped. Absolutely. But a lot of people see, and I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that we make, is we try to take on and carry another person's luggage, and you can't keep carrying another person's suitcase. You get what I'm saying? If a person is not willing to heal, why keep carrying it? Because I'm not going to carry someone else's pain, and I'm trying to unpack my suitcases at the same time. I can't carry yours and mine too. We have to collectively work together to heal each other. You'll get what I'm saying? I can't carry. Now you want to drop all your baggage on me. Now what? That's not fair. No, that we got to work on better exchanges of energy. You know, Black Male Podcast says, historically we have took the most shit for the longest period of time in this country. Absolutely, you sure have, and you still do. You still do. Hence, police brutality and them killing our Black men. So Azrael says, I also called the police because she was trying to destroy my clothes by pouring bleach on them, destroy my stuff, throwing it. I called the cops and asked for them to escort me out of the apartment. And you know what, Azrael, I want to commend you for even doing that, because that was a smart thing for you to do. Because I'm going to tell you why. Because had she have called the police, you probably would have went to jail. And it's sad to say that they would have taken you and not her, even though she was the aggressor. But then again, it depends on the state. It all depends on the state, because I will say, when I lived in Georgia, I was in a relationship. Me and him had an altercation. His shirt was torn, and I had a little scratch across my nose. Because we were both, looked like we had both tussled, we both went to jail. I was charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon because I did chase him with a knife. That I did do. So, because I was trying to get him off of me, and I sure did. And he's the one called the police, and we both ended up going to jail. So, Azrael, I want to say you did the best thing you could have possibly done, and that was to call the police, to get the police to escort you out. Because, again, that situation could have escalated. She could have scratched herself and made it look like you did it, and guess what? You would have been in jail. You would have been arrested that night. So I commend you for that. So getting back. Again, domestic violence, why is this not talked about? These are conversations. Yes, they could be uncomfortable, but these are conversations that we have to keep speaking on, because men feel like no one is going to hear them. No one hears them. I saw in a comment, I was looking at a video, y'all, about, the Amber Heard Johnny Depp defamation trial. And I was reading, and one of the comments said, well, why did he wait so long to bring this up? Let me say this. How many victims do you know, male or female, talk about a situation right when it happens? It's not very many. A lot of people wait until they're strong enough to talk about it, until they're in a better mental space to address this. Do you realize how hard it is to talk about being abused and getting someone to believe you? So for whomever posted that comment, I can't remember. Like I said, I was reading stuff about the trial and reading about various other cases and situations. There's no expiration date on trauma. There's no expiration date on pain. You do it when you're mentally ready, when you are capable of doing it. So what? It took him 5 years or 6 years, however long it has been since they've been divorced. He did it when he felt the time was right for him. So stop trying to rush victims to talk about their situation when they're not ready. That's like pulling stitches out of a wound that hasn't completely healed yet. Make it make sense. Show me how 2 + 2 = 5. That's right. Oh, 2 + 2 is 5 minus 1, carry the 3. Stop that. But I tell you, it be crazy stuff that goes on. And I tell you some of the stuff. So Azra says she was pissed I called him, surprised that I called him. Oh, mind you, the apartment was in my name, but she didn't have a car. I did. So because I still wanted her well-being, I made that choice. And you do. And you do. So don't never feel bad about what you've done. Azra, you did what was best for you. And again, I commend you for that. So Ms. Javert says, you're right. Once I knew better, I did better to protect me. Absolutely, sis. You know, you have to wait when the time is right for you. Yes, Johnny Depp endured years of pain with this woman. It took him years to talk about it. He had to get into a mental space. A lot of y'all forget Johnny Depp was on drugs. He was an alcoholic. And you're not in your right space when your mind is clouded. You can't think straight. You can't speak straight. You have to make sure the space that is created for you to speak about is safe. So for someone to put down a person that's been abused and saying, oh, why did you wait so long? Stop doing that to them. Because you're pushing them further back into that hole that they have fought so hard to get out of. And that's another thing we have to stop doing. Is stop being judges. Sweep around your own damn feet before you start sweeping around other people's. Make sure your nasty ass house is clean first. Javert says, I provided everything. And that's what you have to do. You know, whew, girl. Azra says, also, it's not like you learn about how to deal with these situations. You have to respond the best way you know how in the moment and take time to process. And that's exactly what I mean when I say that's why it's not talked about. Because men who are victims of domestic violence don't know how to respond to it. They don't know how to process that because they're still trying to figure out, how am I a victim? This only happens to women. How is it happening to me? And then men start to question, well, what did I do? What could I have done better? When you're dealing with someone, an abuser, regardless of what you do, it'll never be good enough for an abuser. It'll never be good enough for them. I don't care if you sit crisscross applesauce with your arms folded and you don't say nothing and you say, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, you do whatever. You'll never be good enough for a narcissistic, abusive, toxic, feminine person, woman. Never. Unfortunately, you know. So I got another video, y'all. I'm gonna come back into the comments because I want to keep talking about this. But I want y'all to listen to this clip that I pulled up from the Johnny Depp trial where Amber Heard is admitting that she was hitting him. And then we're going to jump back into this conversation.
I did not punch you. I did not deck you.
That is Amber yelling at Johnny, the verbal altercation after a physical one between the two.
I didn't punch you, by the way. I'm sorry that I didn't hit you across the face in a proper slap, but I was hitting you. It was not punching you. You're fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you.
How are you?
What am I supposed to do? Do this? I'm not sitting here about it, am I? You are. That's the difference between me and you. You're a baby.
The audio of the undated brawl played in court after he revealed new claims from another incident where his finger was famously severed.
I was looking directly at my bones sticking out.
For the first time, Johnny on the record, alleging his wife threw not one, but 2 bottles of vodka at him after an argument in 2015.
She threw the large bottle and it made contact and shattered everywhere. And then I looked down and realized that the tip of my finger had been severed.
And while Amber has previously denied Johnny's allegations, he insisted it happened in Australia 1 month after their wedding.
I knew in my heart, this is not life.
And Depp claimed Amber left a rather disgusting present for him after they argued around the time of her 30th birthday.
My side of the bed was human fecal matter, and she tried to blame it on the dogs. Sorry, I could not agree with her. I'd lived with those dogs. I picked up their fun. It was not the dogs.
Johnny took the stand for a second day and immediately took on his ex-wife.
She's a need for conflict. She's a need for violence. It erupts out of nowhere, and Ms. Heard could very easily drink 2 bottles of wine per night. Well, not a problem.
He testified Amber targeted him physically,
throwing a TV remote at my head,
and verbally.
Tell me what a bad father I was, and that I had no idea how to parent. It's to slice you up, it's to bring you down, it's to demean you.
He testified that Amber's actions made him more likely to use drugs, like he had begun to do when he was 11, amid abuse from his mom.
You start to slowly realize that you are in a relationship with your mother, in a sense.
And he made these stunning claims.
Ms. Heard had spoken of suicide on a couple of occasions. Many times when I would try to leave, she would stop me at the elevator with the security guards crying, screaming, you know, I can't live without you. I'm gonna die.
So why did you stay with Ms. Heard given this type of behavior?
I suppose because my father stayed.
And we're joined once again by Court TV's Chanley Painter. Chanley, we can't see the jury, but you can. How do you think they are reacting to all this graphic testimony?
This jury is reacting to superstar Johnny Depp like they've reacted to every other witness. I'm surprised because they know who he is. He's Johnny Depp. And they're just like, oh, regular Joe, let me take a couple of notes. That's it. But today, I did notice a little bit of a shift to the one woman who sits on the front row of the jury box. She seems into Johnny Depp. She's nodding, she's taking more notes, and she's even looking over to Amber Heard in a critical manner, like, how is she reacting to what he's saying? He did have a joke today. He cracked a joke at an objection from Amber Heard's team.
Let me ask you a different question, Mr. Depp.
Yes. Let's let him object to another one.
And I finally did see 3 of these jury members smile in response to what he said the first time in the hours he's been on the stand.
Thank you for watching. If you want more extra, hit the subscribe button and the bell so you'll never miss a video.
So I want to talk about that clip. You heard her verbally say, oh, I didn't hit you. No, she said, no, what did she say? I wasn't punching you, I was hitting you. Isn't that abuse? I mean, you're physically putting your hands on another person. Doesn't matter if you're punching, hitting, slapping, whatever the situation, you're abusing him. Doesn't matter how you slice the bread. Doesn't matter how you cut the cake, how you eat the pizza. You're abusive. That's what you are. physically abusive. You know, so jumping back into the conversation again. So let me stir the pot up really quickly. I want to know, y'all, who initiates violence more, men or women? And why? Why do you feel like men initiate violence more? Or why do you feel like women initiate violence more? Drop in the comments and let me know. Let's talk about that. So we got quite a few comments. Some I had to just recently block. But anyway, we're going to keep going. All right. So Javert says, and it still wasn't enough. Once I finally decided to leave, please don't go. I'm this and I'm going to do that. I love you this and I love you that. I realized that love doesn't hurt and I was out. She say, then the next bitch that tried it, I left the first time she tried it. No, I didn't hit back. I just got out of there. And that was a smart thing for you to do. Again, what you don't want to do is you don't want to escalate the situation. Call the police. You know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't make you a coward because let me tell you something, men, if you are in an altercation with a woman and she calls the police, a majority of the time, the police are going to take you to jail. They're not going to take the women. They want to take you. Sometimes women go, you know, they'll take the women. They'll be like, oh, yeah, she's the aggressor. She needs to go. They will. But we all know 65 to 70% of the time, it's always the men that get arrested. It's always the men that are asked to leave. The women aren't. And that's sad. And that's what I mean when I say justice needs to go across the board for men and for women. It needs to apply both ways. Because again, women are abusive to men too. Men aren't the only abusers. Women are. But a lot of people ain't ready to have that conversation. A lot of people say, oh, well, men should do this, men should do that. What should women do? We need to start holding these women accountable, and I don't know why y'all won't. Start holding these women accountable. Women, keep your hands to yourself. Stop slapping a man in the face. Stop pushing on the man. Stop punching on the man. Keep your hands to yourself. And I'm going to keep saying this. When he's trying to walk away, let him go. Stop walking behind him. Stop trying to make him listen to what you got to say. Let him go cool off. You go sit your hot-tempered ass down somewhere and you cool off. Relax. Like the words say, cooler heads always prevail. What can you accomplish when you're both angry? You're not trying to hear what he's saying. He's not trying to hear what you're saying. So how y'all getting the issue resolved? If both of y'all is mad. Now he's screaming over you because he's trying to get you to hear what he have to say. You screaming over him so he can hear what you have to say. Stop it. Somebody needs to be the adult in a situation. And a lot of times it is the men that do try to walk away, that try to de-escalate these situations. It is a lot of the times, you know, the men will grab you by your arm and they'll be like, man, come on, man. Come on, man. Stop. I've seen a lot of men with a lot of restraint. I've seen that. But some of you women, y'all provoke it. And then y'all laugh about it. Like I say, when I did my episode last year on Dwayne Haskins and I was speaking on domestic violence, some of the comments that some of the ladies were making, women were laughing about this woman being physically abusive to her husband. So I'm going to say the same thing again that I said last year. Keep that same energy when it's you. When your man is moonwalking on your ass, keep that same damn energy. When you see your homegirl, you ask her, girl, what did you do for that man to put his hands on you? It doesn't matter. No person deserves to be abused, and that goes both ways. I don't care if you like it and if you don't like it. Women, keep your hands to yourself. Some of y'all are mentally abusive to men. Some of y'all are verbally abusive to men. But y'all not ready to have that conversation. Y'all keep saying, oh, but men do this and men do that and men do that. Y'all always deflecting from the situation. Stop it. Stop deflecting. Let me go into some of the comments. But y'all let me know, who do y'all think initiates violence more, men or women? So Jamera says, I see the Lifetime movies where the men are the villains most of the time. I don't see any of it the other way around. It's kind of difficult to talk about. And you know why, Jamaris? Is because, again, as I stated earlier, there are not enough safe spaces for men to talk about. Men are a lot of times embarrassed to seek help. A lot of men are embarrassed to go and tell someone that they're being abused. Whether it's, again, when it comes to domestic violence, let me say this. It's not always a physical. It's not always a hit. It could be words. And a lot of men are embarrassed to go and tell somebody, man, yeah, you know, man, my girl keep telling me that I ain't this. Because your brothers don't make it safe for you. They don't make it welcoming for you. Y'all are ridiculed. Y'all are supposed to endure. Y'all are supposed to suck this up. Y'all are supposed to take the words and the venom that is spewed at y'all. And that's not right. That's not fair. That's not what we're supposed to be doing. Let me say this. The only time, and I said it on my last episode, the only time we need to be putting hands on each other is when I'm loving on you, when I'm hugging you, whatever. I'm holding your hand, you holding my hand. To me, I think that's the only time. And again, that goes both ways. I'm not sitting up here condoning and saying, oh, women, no, I'm not saying that. But I am saying, both of y'all keep your hands to yourself. So Azrael says, basically, you see the signs from the last and know how to apply that to the present. That's why I handle my situation the way I did. And I'm glad that you learned and see, and that was a learning moment for you. You know, that experience, it taught you. You get what I'm saying? So you knew how to handle this situation correctly. You get what I'm saying? You did right. So Azrael says, oh my God, my ex did that too, threatening to hurt herself or killing herself if I don't come back, then got mad at what happened next. That's gaslighting. That's what that is. And you see a lot of people that do, and it goes again both ways. You see a lot of men that do that, but you see women that do it. Oh, if you leave me, what am I gonna do without you? I'm gonna kill myself if you go. And they're gaslighting. That's what that is. They gaslight you. That's what it is. They're gaslighting you, baby. That's what it did. And then you're right. Then they get upset at what happens next. Again, how does 2 + 2 = 5, baby? Just like make it make sense. You know, that's what I be trying to figure out. You know, is make it make sense. So let me jump in. Hold up. I got some more comments and then we're going to jump back into the conversation because I'm so ready to hear what people think. Who do y'all think initiates violence more, men or women? So Azrael says, I called the police and informed them of someone threatening to hurt themselves at that location. Her response was about how embarrassing it was. But why though? What I don't understand is why was it embarrassing to you? Why was it embarrassing to her? And she's the one that escalated the situation. That's what Azrael, yeah, baby. I'm glad you left that situation because that was baby, that was toxic city. Do you hear me? That was some serious toxicity right there, baby. You dodged the bullet with that one. So Javert says, then she says she didn't hit me. She just grabbed my face. Oh, but she was angry and she put all her might into it and threatened me in my ear. See, that's what I mean when I say abuse is abuse. Whether you hitting, whether you slapping, whether you spitting, it's still abuse at the end of the day. Stop it. I just, y'all know, I go back and I look at my situation, you know, when I was in my domestic abuse situation, and it was like the same thing. He would tell me, oh, ain't no man gonna want you. You leave. Bitch, I'm gonna kill you. It was all of that. So I was scared. And then I was torn down. And I think that's why a lot of men stay. You know what? Let me not even say I think. I know that's why a lot of men stay. A lot of men stay because they don't want failure. They don't want it to fail. They don't want the relationship to fail. Azrael says she wanted me to come back. That's why she said that. She said, why would I come back to a place where literally anything could have happened? My name on the lease. You hurt before I get back. Then what? Right. That's gaslighting. Baby, when I tell you that's gaslighting at its finest. That's manipulation at its finest also. And we do see that a lot. You know, that's the control. They want to control. They want to really try to control the situation. So I'm going to tell him something to make him stay. Or if I tell him I'm going to hurt myself, that's going to make him stay. And again, that goes with men too, because I've seen men. But again, we're not talking about men being the abusers. We're talking about women being the abusers. So I'm not trying to go down that way. But I will have another show where I will discuss men being the abusers and women being the victims. So tonight, I want to just stick to talking about my men being the victims and women being the abusers. So again, y'all drop in the comments. Let me know, who do y'all think initiates violence more, men or women, and why? Why do you say it's men? Why do you say it's women? Got some more comments. Hold up. Diana, hey, good to see you, baby. Good to see you. My cousin, hey, baby. She said, you better talk the truth, girl. Good girl. She said, cousin, come through, girl. Let God use you. Let me tell you something. That's all I can do. And that's why I say I was gifted this platform, and I'm utilizing it for the greater good. You get what I'm saying? I'm using it to speak on conversations that we don't particularly talk about, especially in the Black community. So that's the premise behind Black Girl Interrupted. But we're going to get into that at the end of the show as I roll into the final thoughts and we talk about what's coming next. So Diana says words are not justification to put hands on anyone. Right. But Diana, we see this all too often. We see women that, and again, I'm talking women being the abusers and men being the victims. We see this. A woman could be sitting there and a man could say, man, I don't want to talk about this. And she's pushing him. She's instigating the situation. She's trying to escalate the situation when he's like, no, we're not going to do this, man. We're not going to do this. We're not going to do this. And she's like, yeah, you're going to listen to me. You hear me talking to you. And she's pushing him in the face. She, before you know it, she slapped him because he's telling you, we're not going to do this. Would you rather for this man reach around and slap your ass into the middle of next week? Stop doing that. You're gaslighting him. You're trying to manipulate. You're trying to be in control of the situation. And we as women, sometimes when we are not in control of the situation, then we get angry. That's really what heightens it up, is because we're losing control. We no longer have the control now. We no longer have the upper hand. So in regards to what Azra was saying, they result to that. Well, I'm going to hurt myself. If you leave, I'm going to do this to me. Oh, well, if you leave, I'm going to call your mom and I'm going to tell your mom, or I'm going to do this and I'm going to do. Here come the threats. No. So Azrael says, I don't think it matters who starts it as far as a man or a woman. Generally, whichever party likes toxic environments. And those parties are generally identifiable through their friends and the media they consume. Yet they claim they don't like toxic, but they constantly revolve between these environments. Babe. Oh, Ezra, babe, you just hit the nail on the head, because you know what you gotta. There are a lot of females who have friends that advocate and support the bullshit that they do. Instead of calling them out and saying, hey, that's like, okay, that's like, if me and Diana, we hanging out. Diana, I'm only using you as an example, baby. So that's like if me and Diana hanging out. And I'm seeing her talk down to her dude. She's telling her, oh, he ain't shit. She's doing all of this. I'm going to wait until she's, it's just me and her. I'm be like, man, sis, come on now. Why you doing all of that? Man, that ain't even called for. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to chastise your friend in private. You get what I'm saying? Because you don't want to do it in the middle of the situation, because you don't want to escalate it. But you do have a lot of women that are with their homegirls that are doing this to these men, that are, they cheering them on. They're advocating for them to do this. And that's not healthy. You get what I'm saying? So Azrael says, I think people stay because they love the idea of somebody, the person they met and fell in love with, and hope they could come back. And that's exactly what I said at the beginning. It's the failure. No one wants to see a relationship fail. No one goes into a relationship with the hopes of everyone go. Let me say this. Let me back up. People go into relationships with the hopes of the relationship is going to go somewhere. A lot of people go with the hopes that it's going to end in marriage. No one goes in hoping and praying that their relationship is going to fail. But a lot of times we see the red flags in the beginning. And we really feel like if I love this person hard enough, I do this, that, and the third with this person, they'll change. No. A person will only change if they want to change. That's the only time they're going to change. It doesn't matter how many times you begging, you pleading, you're doing this, that, and the third. A person is only going to change when they want to change. So Diana says manipulation. That's it. Diana, you are girl. Diana she be on me. She gets me together, baby, when I be slipping. So Azrael says, to be fair, I think women pressure men like that because they need to resolve it immediately and act on their emotion. And the man is trying to wait till it can actually become a level-minded discussion. And this could be men pressuring women as well. And going back to the, piggybacking on your comment, Azrael, I want to leave it up for just a moment. I said that, a lot of times men are like, hold up, man, I don't want to talk about it right now. And then you have women that say, man, babe, let's talk about I don't want to say the wrong thing, because I'm still learning how to do that. I'm learning how to think before I speak. A lot of us need to learn how to think before we speak. Because like I say, cooler heads always prevail. You get what I'm saying? How can you talk and have a level-headed conversation when he's screaming, you're screaming, neither one of you could hear each other? So how are you going to get any type of resolution when he's screaming at you, you screaming at her? Come on now. I know it's easier said than done. But a lot of men will walk away, ladies. Stop running behind that man. Stop using manipulation tactics. Stop gaslighting to try to get the man to stay. If he say, you know what, I need to go cool off. I would rather for him to say, you know what, let me go cool off before something physically happens. One of my really close friends that I lost almost 2 years ago was a victim of domestic violence. And again, this show is dedicated to him tonight. Him and his girlfriend, at the time, they had been smoking, drinking, or whatever. And then, y'all know how liquor and weed does, it makes people get out of character. So he was trying to lead to de-escalate the situation. And her emotions got the best of her. And she stabbed him twice in the chest and he was killed. And he was trying to leave. He was trying to prevent that from happening. And he lost his life. It happens, y'all. It's not talked about enough. And these are conversations that we need to sit and we need to talk about on a regular. So Diana says, we need to stop saying women are emotional. It subconsciously gives women the idea they can act any kind of way without the consequences. Right. And that's what I mean when I say 9 times out of 10, when it's a domestic violence situation, a lot of times the women don't go to jail. When the men call the police laugh. Oh man, I know she ain't over there doing that to you, bro. Come on. But I have seen some situations where women have gone to jail. Like I say, my situation, we both were arrested. We both went to jail. I got charged with felony aggravated assault with a deadly weapon because I did have a knife. They didn't see me with the knife, but I did try to stab him. Yes, I did. I'm not proud of that. That's part of the past, but that's part of what made me the woman I am today. So I don't sugarcoat anything like that. I've been an abuser. I've been the one that has told the man, oh, you ain't shit, you ain't this, you not that. I've been the one. I've done that. I've been the one that when the man is trying to leave, I'm running behind. Oh, no, you going to talk to me. You going to do this. You going to do that. I've been the one to do that. But a lot of y'all, some of y'all women ain't ready for that conversation. A lot of y'all not really ready to admit that some of y'all are really toxic. Because I guess toxicity has now become the new norm. I don't understand why, but apparently it has. So I want to jump into one last video. Hold up, let me pull the comment. Then I want to jump into this last video as we roll through the show. So Azra says, that's why I simply called and asked for an escort off the premises, not calling saying there's an active domestic violence situation in progress. But they knew, you know, when you're calling and you want to be escorted off, 9 times out of 10, babe, they already know. They already know when they get there. Must be some shit popped off. He trying not to go to jail. That's what they, you know, when the police officers get there, that 9 times out of 10, that's what they thinking, you know. And they say language means everything, though. Yeah, it does. It does. It really does. All right, so y'all drop in the comments. I want to know, I'm taking a poll. Who do you think initiates violence more, men or women? And I want to know why. Why do you feel like, you know, why did you pick your answer? If y'all choose men, why did you choose men? If you choose women, why did you choose women? Drop in the comments. But I want to jump off. Ooh, excuse me. So Diana says, yeah, it's the idea you could say whatever you want to me and then just end the convo. That burns a lot of women up because they feel that they are being silenced. Women got to learn how to manage emotions. Bingo! Diana, you just said a mouthful with that, B. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Is we women, we act off of emotions and we don't know how to control them. Because we feel like, and this is not for all women, and I'm only going to speak for me. Because I feel like I have to have the last word. You get what I'm saying? That's like in my current relationship, you know, my honey that I'm with now. It's like when I start yelling on the phone, he's like, all right, I'm about to go. Because see, you yelling now. You get what I'm saying? That's his way of saying, hold up now. You need, come on now. You need, come on. You at 500, you almost at 1,000. I'm going to need you to bring it back down to 0. So, and that's one of the things that I love about him is that he's showing me how to control my emotions and how to manage them. So I'm learning how, again, to think before I speak. So, but Diane, I got a video, y'all, and then I want to jump back. But I do want to know in the comments, who do you think initiates violence more, men or women? So let me jump into this video. And then we're going to answer that question.
Domestic violence is a growing problem in Georgia, and advocates say the victims aren't just women and children.
A new report released today suggests men are being victimized a lot more than we think. Fox 5's Brian Hill has a look at the new study from the Georgia Commission on Family Violence.
The 20-page report is the state agency's first study focusing on male victims of family or domestic violence. The Georgia Commission on Family Violence hopes this study will help educate law enforcement and other community stakeholders about the challenges men face and why their assaults often fall through the cracks.
The belief that the domestic violence organizations and shelters and safe houses out there, I believe among males, is that they aren't there to service them.
The Georgia Commission on Family Violence's graph here shows the data collected from 2016 to 2020. While women make up the majority of family violence victims, the report found that men account for 30%.
We have to, as a society, give men the space to admit that they are victims.
The Commission's research identified 256,000 reported family violence incidents over a 4-year period. According to the report, 1 in 10 men experience stalking, sexual and/or physical violence by an intimate partner during their lifetime.
When it's a female who is the abuser, the natural inclination, I think, may be to assume that he can handle himself.
The agency believes the number of male victimization is much higher and isn't reported primarily due to social norms around gender roles, the idea of disbelief by law enforcement and other stakeholders, and a perceived lack of services for men.
If there's a male identified at the scene who is a victim, I think there is an unconscious bias, so men may not get referrals at the scene for services.
The report says that all victims experience barriers to reporting their abuse and getting support. However, they say male victims face barriers that are intensified by socially normalized perceptions of men as perpetrators of violence. The Commission's goal for this report is to create awareness and improve responsiveness and accessibility to services for anyone in this struggle.
Without adequate services, we risk more lives being lost.
The Commission now plans to examine other special populations like immigrant and LGBTQ communities who've also been less represented in conversations about this issue. Brian Hill, Fox 5 News.
Ooh, and that's another. Hold on, let me get this comment. Hold on. So Azra says, in my experience, it's not enough for women to get the last word. I'd let her get it in, but she wants a reaction from me, but not just a reaction she wants me to have. If I let her talk and she doesn't get a rise out of me, it passes her off me, no matter my response. If I'm calm, she don't hear what I see. Azra, you know I love you, baby. What kind of women are you dealing with? We got to find you a good woman, baby. One that ain't been hurt, one that ain't gone from a victim to the bully. Just take some time for you, brother. I love you lots. But we got to figure out the type of women, that you're attracting, because we'll talk. We're gonna talk, brother. I promise we're gonna talk, because it's something in you that attracts these type of women. Maybe they see you as a pushover. Maybe they see, I don't know, brother. I don't know. We'll talk. We're going to talk, though. We'll talk. Diana say that part. Whew. So I want to go back again to my question. Who initiates violence more, men or women? Drop in the comments and y'all let me know. So the video, that clip that I just played, now we know why. Why men are always the forgotten victims when it comes to abuse. They're not providing in a lot of the resources that women are given. There's no hotline for men to call. There's no shelters in place for men to go to. And as you see, it said 1 in 10 men will be victims of stalking. Some type of abuse. But we don't talk about this. This is a conversation that people are afraid to open a door for. But it's so easy for us to discuss women, but so hard when it comes to men. And that's a part of the world, a part of the narrative that needs to be changed. But to you men, y'all deserve safe spaces. Y'all deserve the platform to come and talk about it without the ridicule, without the bullshit that comes behind it, without the need for y'all to always have to be strong. Y'all have feelings. Y'all don't deserve that. Hold on, we got a couple of comments. So Diana says, that video makes me believe men initiates violence more. I want to go on record saying, though, that the who does it more isn't the point, because there's too many either way. Azra says, I still vote gender doesn't matter. LOL, just that mindset and what helps create that mindset, which kind of leads me towards women. Hey, and you know what? There's no right or wrong answer. When it comes to that question, who initiates violence more, there's no right or wrong answer, because everyone is going to feel the way, and everyone's entitled to feel the way that they feel. I'm not saying men don't initiate, but women do it too. Because we act off of our emotions. When we don't get our way, we're throwing temper tantrums. Oh no, you're going to listen to me and you want to jump all in his face and you want to push him all in the face and stuff like that. Yes. So I'm going to lean a little towards the women. Especially when it comes to being able to manage the emotions. And I'm not saying men can't manage their emotions, because I done seen some of y'all erratic ass men too. But again, I'm not this show tonight is not about women being the victims. It's about men being the victims. It's about women holding themselves accountable for being abusers to men. That's what this show is about tonight. I've not only shared my story of being a domestic abuse survivor, but we always push for the women. And we never advocate for the men. Let me back up. We always advocate for the women, but we never advocate for the men. It's all, people always deflect and say, oh, but women, oh, but men. But women do it too. We see it all the time. But just some of y'all are afraid to call out your toxic ass homegirl. You cheerlead her on this. You gaslight her and you tell her, girl, yeah, I would have slapped him in his face too. Y'all cheer this type of behavior on. So this is why men don't talk. Because it's toxic females that some of them are on my timeline, I'm not going to call you out, that advocate and rally for this type of bullshit though. Again, I'm talking to men being the victims tonight. Women, I always advocate for y'all. And I still will continue to advocate for women. But tonight I'm speaking for the brothers. I'm speaking for the men that are victims of domestic violence. I'm speaking for the men that endured this as children and then ended up, like Johnny Depp said, started dating women like his mother, who was abusive. So I don't want to deflect. I want to stick to what's at hand. I'm advocating and I'm rallying for the men tonight. Some of you women, toxic. But you won't admit it. Y'all feel like toxicity is the new norm. Oh girl, I love a toxic relationship. So you want to project that on someone else? You want to project your own pain on someone else? Come on, ladies, we got to do better. We got to do better, ladies. That's not normal. That's not normal for us to sit and normalize toxic relationships. You got to be, you have to be mentally unstable to advocate and say you want to be in a toxic relationship. Let me go to some of the comments. So Azrael says, but that could easily tip the scale to men becoming the majority because of the new environments and mindsets in the future. So Jamara says, we are usually the forgotten victims because it's not heard of. Men are usually the aggressors, always being compared to Ike Turner. But that's how that's the way the media portrays it, is that men are always the aggressors and never the women. Last year, like I say, when I did my show on speaking on Dwayne Haskins, the wife was the aggressor. The wife was arrested. And some of the comments that I saw in regards to what this woman did to this man was absolutely sickening to me. And that's what I mean when I say you have women that that sit and cheer their friends on and encourage this type of behavior. So I'm going to say this again. I want you to keep that same energy when it happens to you. When you women become the victim, the same energy y'all have for men, keep that same energy for yourself. Because no one deserves to get beat on. Nobody. Nobody deserves to be talked to like they a piece of trash on the ground. No one deserves that. Women, stop telling men, stop talking down on them. Stop tearing down their self-esteem. Stop it. Stop projecting your toxic behavior on another person. Stop doing that. You need to go get some mental help. And I think the reason now is it's really more now starting to be spoken about is because of the Johnny Depp Amber Heard situation. I think with this situation that's going on, I believe we will see more men come out and say, hey, I'm a victim too. I'm a victim of domestic violence. And again, when it comes to domestic violence, it's not always physical. I hope we see more men that come out and say, hey, I'm a victim. I pray that we see that. You know, I really do. I pray that that happens. Miss Diana says also just what they said. Most of the resources that are for women, offer resources for men too. But if you go back and you watch that video, they don't offer those resources. They don't provide them at the scene. If a man is calling, they're not giving them phone numbers to call. They're not telling them, oh, you could go here. What shelters? Are there shelters for battered men? No, it's not. But you have shelters for battered women, though. Diana says, also, men, you have to create your safe spaces the way women create theirs. But the reason men don't create their safe spaces, let me tell you why. Oh, you're welcome, Jamaris. He says, thank you for advocating for us. Absolutely. And I'm going to continue to advocate for the rights of men, fathers, whatever. You know, that's what I do. But the reason men aren't creating safe spaces is because men are embarrassed to go and tell somebody that they're being abused. Because men are going to look at him and say, oh, man, boy, how you XYZ and you letting this woman talk to you like that, bruh? Man, come on now. People ain't taking it serious. This is why men don't have safe spaces, because no one's taking them serious. So how can a safe space be created when they're ridiculed? At the same time, they're being ridiculed. Ms. Diana says they aren't advertising the resource. Exactly. So men don't know which way to turn, so a lot of them stay. Men feel, there's no hotlines for us to call. They're not giving this information. They're not giving them this information. So Azrael says, I do believe some instances of domestic violence, the party giving the domestic violence doesn't always realize it, and when it's not physical. And the receiving party more than likely won't even mention it to their partner. But let's talk about the ones that do. Let's talk about the ones that do. Does the person stop? Ms. Diana says, and that's what I mean, if men aren't taking themselves seriously. I'm going to say this. A lot of men do take their situation seriously because, I lost a really dear friend of mine to domestic violence. He tried to leave the situation, and guess what? He ended up in a grave. He tried to walk away from the situation, and he ended up in a grave. You do have men The reason they don't take themselves seriously is because they're embarrassed. It's a societal thing. Society has not recognized it or made it normal. You get what I'm saying? Again, I think the only reason it's being spoken about now is because of this Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. A lot of men are suffering in silence. You got anywhere from 30 to 40% plus men that are victims of domestic violence. Those are stats. You know, they're not giving the resources freely to men like they do to us women. So Ezra says, I don't think it stops because when it's not physical, chances are part of them being abusive is they will dismiss any negative mentions of their person. Otherwise, I don't think it should get there. When it comes to abuse, it doesn't always start out physical. It may escalate to physical. Sometimes it may never get physical. It may just stay verbally abusive. Good. Oh, hey sis. What's good, my baby? What's good, girl? It's so good to see you. Thank you for tuning in tonight. It's good to see you, hon. But in those relationships, like I say, it doesn't always turn physical. It may just stay verbally abusive. And I think with men, they've heard it so long that it becomes normal for them. They become immune to it or they become numb to it. So Ezra says, I'm talking about cases of verbal abuse where the party tells their partner and nothing happens because a part of their abuse is their dismissal. Right. They're not taking it seriously because they don't feel like what they're doing is abuse. Oh, yeah. So what? Because I told you wasn't going to be shit. What does that mean? That's gaslighting now. Now you're trying to manipulate the situation to still be in control. Being dismissive, you still are trying to show that you have the upper hand. You know, so that's where it is you're still trying to be in control. You still want to be in control of the situation. So I'm going to be dismissive of what you're saying because I don't feel like I've done anything wrong. Okay, because I told you that you were fat in that outfit. I was just telling you the truth. That's what they say. That's what they're going to say. That's what a narcissistic person says. You know. Oh. Hey, Jess. Good to see you, sweetheart. Thank you for tuning in. Ezra says that's why nothing happens. If they weren't as dismissive of that as that, then chances are it never even reaches that state. I think we're going to agree to disagree, but I do agree with your statement, though. I get what you're saying. I get exactly what you're saying. So Diana says, a lot of people think toxicity is normal. They think you're supposed to cut. Right. She said they think you're supposed to cuss each other out and threaten and throw things and talk crazy to each other. Same as when these young boys get molested by their babysitters and they're being told they're supposed to like it. You know what, Diana? Let me piggyback on the last of what you said, because when you see these boys, let me go back to your comment real quick. Because back in the day, when little boys were having sex with these grown women, the babysitters, men were telling them, oh yeah, you just got your little piece of cooter. They shrugged it off when really in actuality, that's abuse. You're a grown woman sleeping with a 10-year-old child? Come on now. And we're going to talk about that because I did a show about that too. I think it's time for me to wake up a lot of these conversations that I talked about last year. I think it's time for me to bring them back to the forefront now. Oh yeah, the teachers. Yep. So going back into this, Why are men always the forgotten victims when it comes to abuse? We need to change that narrative and allow men to be open and be able to discuss these types of situations. We have to stop sweeping men being victims under the rug. We have to stop doing that. Again, I hope that this conversation opens up a lot of eyes. I hope that this conversation doesn't fall on deaf ears. I want men to know that we know y'all are victims too. We know y'all are forgotten about a lot of times. We know this. We know it's difficult for y'all to have these conversations. We know it's embarrassing. We know that there are no resources out there for you. We know that. But we as a community, we as a people, we have to change that. I'm not going to rush a man to address his pain now. But when it's time, when you're mentally ready, when you're emotionally ready, when you're spiritually ready, when you're physically ready, speak. Because you're not alone in this. There are a lot of men out here that are being abused right now as we speak, and they're afraid to talk about it because of the ridicule. Because society has told them to suck this up. We got to change the narrative on that. So I want to go into my final thoughts for tonight's episode. Tonight I did part 2 of domestic violence. Women are not the only victims. Hold up, before I go into my final thoughts, got a couple of comments really quickly. Hold on. So Suave says, I feel like they've been abused since they was little ones until they just don't know any better because they're thought to get up or it's just soft to talk about your feelings that way. Azra says, acknowledgement is the first step to move past regret. Regret keeps you trapped in the past. I definitely agree with that statement. I absolutely agree with that statement. Diane, I'm going to post that. Let me do my final thoughts and then I'm going to post that. So going into my final thoughts. Let me go back into my final thoughts. Tonight's show is part 2 of a show I did back in July of 2021. And I spoke on domestic violence to men. Men have always been the forgotten victims when it comes to abuse, whether it's sexual, whether it's verbal, whether it's mental. Men are always the forgotten victims. And I don't understand why. No person on this earth deserves to be hit on. No person that walks this earth deserves to be verbally abused and spoken to like they're a piece of trash on the ground. No one deserves that. Tonight's episode was very near and dear to me because, again, I lost a really close friend to domestic violence. I can't believe it's been over a year already. Almost 2 years. Oh my God. Oh my God. What the hell just happened? Y'all just happened. That's what I mean when I be saying. Every time I try to do something good, the devil always tries to come and knock me down. But guess what? I'm going to keep rolling. And as I was saying, no person deserves to be slapped on, talked horrific to, no person. But to you men, do know you're not alone. There are resources out here for you if you need the help. I hope that the situation with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, I hope the conversation doesn't end with them. Let me post this up really quickly. Diana posted, I'm going to leave that up for just a moment. That is the National Domestic Violence Hotline phone number. She says they help men too, and they will tell you the resources in your area. So men, please do not be afraid to contact the Domestic Violence Hotline. You're not alone in this. You are not the only man in the world that is in a domestic violence situation as we speak. You could also text START to the number 88788. Y'all, I'm really not trying to get choked up. I'm really not trying to get emotional because my heart really aches for men that are victims of domestic violence. I'm so sorry to the men that are enduring this or have endured this. And again, domestic violence does not always necessarily mean physical. I was like that to my son. I was the victim who became the bully. It starts at home. Someone has to break the curse. We have to start creating safe spaces for one another to be able to be open to discuss these types of situations. Because somebody's suffering in silence and afraid to talk because of what society says. Fuck that narrative. I said it. To hell with that narrative. Men, you're human too. You don't deserve whatever it is that you're going through. And to you toxic ass females that advocate and say toxicity is normal, I pray for you. And I hope you get the therapy that you so truly need. Because you have got to be an unstable human being to feel like being abusive to a man is okay. And I say that with the most sincerest heart. Whew. Baby. So the upcoming episodes for Black Girl Interrupted podcast tomorrow night. I know I should have been going live throughout the months of April, but again, y'all know from the beginning I've been having my own mental things that I had to deal with, but I'm in a much better space. I'm gonna be back on 2 days a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. But tomorrow night I'm gonna be talking about estate planning, wills, trust, life insurance. Because I'm here to tell you, let me tell you something right now. If you ain't got no life insurance and something happened to you, I am not contributing to your GoFundMe page. I'm just going to put it out there. I'm not donating to your GoFundMe page. I'm not buying none of your mama nasty fish plates. I'm not buying no t-shirt to support. I'm not doing none of that. If you got money to buy Jordans, then you can go get you some life insurance. Go get a will set up. Go get you a trust. Leave your children with generational wealth and not generational debt. I'm just going to go and put it out there. So tomorrow's night's episode, we're going to be talking about estate planning, wills, life insurances, and trust. Some of y'all need to get y'all stuff in order, baby. I see y'all with them brand new iPhones, but you ain't got no life insurance. Go sell them Jordans that you be posting. Go sell some of that jewelry you be posting with on Facebook and Instagram and all of that. Go sell some of that. It don't cost but $10 a month, baby. Get your $20,000 life insurance policy. Stop playing. Because I'm letting you know right now, I'm not contributing to not one GoFundMe page. So before you die, you might want to go get that in order, because I'm here to tell you, I'm not contributing. So do not send me the link to a GoFundMe page, because I'm going to delete it. And that's all I'm going to say. So, I'm just going to say it. See, some of y'all be afraid to say it, and I'm just going to tell you, I'm not contributing to no GoFundMe pages, no Zelles, no Venmos, no none of that. I'm not sending no money to nobody when you got the money to go get your life insurance policy. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow night. So Miss Diana says, you're doing God's work, Mama. Thank you, sis, for even coming, for coming through, for participating in the conversation. We need to talk outside of this, because I'm trying to put something together for July, like a round table. So I'll get with you this weekend to discuss what I got planned for July, because I definitely would love for you to be a part of that. It's going to be very beautiful what I got going on. Then I got some other people that are going to join in on the panel as well. So I'll get with you this weekend. Diana says, I wish I could have come in from the start. So she says, men, you have to handle domestic violence differently than women. You need to document, keep a journal, take pictures, have doctor's records, everything that they tell us women we need to do. Men, y'all need to do the same. You need to document it. You need to put some dates, receipts, whatever it is you need to have your I's dotted and your T's crossed. So you need to have that together. So Suave, yes, I'm not buying your mama nasty fish plates. I'm not eating them stale peas. I'm not eating that cold, nasty stale potato salad. I'm not eating none of that. I'm not doing it at all. So she say, facts. I'm telling you, I'm not doing it. So tomorrow night, like I say, 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, we're going to be talking about estate planning, baby. So come with your information. Oh, thank you. I did. I've been having a lot of health issues that I had to get under control. Tomorrow, again, is my last day of treatment. So I won't be so worn out. I won't be so drained. I'll be ready to go ahead. I start my new job May the 9th. So I'm in a good space. Beautiful relationship, everything. So shout out to my baby. I don't know. He's at work. He may not be watching, but shout out to you, love. All right, Diana, and I appreciate that. She said, I'm down, girl, because we're gonna wake some things up in July. June is already written out, but July we got some great things to talk about. So on that note, like I said, tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, same place, YouTube, Facebook. Y'all know where I'm at. I'm on every streaming platform. I'm on Apple, Google. Where else am I at? Baby, I'm all over the place. Look, just put in Black Girl Interrupted and just subscribe to me everywhere so that way you don't miss any episodes. But again, tomorrow night, tomorrow night we're talking about estate planning. This is a very much needed conversation that we in the community have to have, because we just don't do this. We don't like to discuss death. We don't like to plan for death, but it's a necessity. And I can't wait for tomorrow night's episode. I'm absolutely ecstatic. I'm glad to be back in front of the camera. But let me post this really quickly for y'all again. Miss Diana posted. Yes, ma'am, I am. I'm an old Visa card ass. I'm everywhere you want to be. Yes, indeed, baby. I'm like I said, I'm on Apple, I'm on Google, I'm on iHeart, I'm on Spotify, I'm on Deezer. I'm everywhere, baby. I'm on Amazon Podcast, I'm on Audible, I'm everywhere. You just put that in and I'm everywhere. So let me post this comment really quickly for domestic violence. Again, there is the phone number. It is 1-800-799-7233. That is the National Domestic Violence Hotline number. So if you or someone you know is a victim of domestic violence, please call that number. Please report it, because we do not want any more lives taken behind domestic violence. They're already killing. The police are already killing us. We don't need to add anything else on top of that. So I love you guys. Again, I do want to say thank y'all so much. Excuse me. For tuning in. I appreciate the continuous love, the continuous support that y'all show me on a daily. I will see y'all tomorrow night, same time, same place, and y'all be ready, because baby, I'm gonna make tomorrow night so much fun. We gonna laugh, we gonna joke, but I'm really gonna be serious though when it comes to estate planning. So on that note, I love y'all. I will see y'all tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And again, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Black Girl Interrupted Podcast. Love y'all.